On this. I'm glad we did this, man. I love just doing what we do and making it happen impromptu. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everybody. What's up? It's your boys. My man, all the way there in the West Coast, 3 hours behind me, Jay Haleem, the master of preventing starvation, the author of The Movement, I Won't Starve, and your boy CL King, your friend CL King here. We are in joint studio sessions today because I messaged him last night. I said, Jay, what you doing tomorrow? This is literally how it went, y'all. I said, what you doing tomorrow? He said, I don't know what you got. I said, man, we need to go live. He was like, what time? I said, well, I'm 3 hours ahead of you and I got stuff to do after 3. So we need a short block of time. He said, I got you, man. And here's why I said it was important for he and I to come together. Number one, because this man has a passion and a talent for entrepreneurship, unlike any person I've ever interviewed. We've interviewed almost 300 people since we started this podcast, and I have never interviewed someone and becomes friends with someone who has such a gift for describing and maneuvering and helping people understand entrepreneurship. And so I said, bro, I just want to come on and maybe if we can get some people that might be, I know everybody probably still at work. We doing this at a crazy time, but they can watch the replay and ask questions later. You know, I said, maybe if there's some people out here, because there's some folks struggling. You know, there's folks struggling, inflation, there's all kind of stuff. And I said, man, Jay, give me 1 hour to pick your amazing brain, and then we'll get out of Dodge. So you got us for 50. Oh man, you got us for less than that. You got us for 48 minutes. Then I got to get to the ball field, and he got to go back to work because he can't starve. So with that, hey y'all can the band, y'all can call the band off. We good. I want to thank everybody for being here, joining with me and Jay Haleem there in our joint studio session together. Jay Haleem, the president and founder and CEO of I Won't Starve. He's got 4 books. He's a serial entrepreneur and an amazing human being. That's what Nisi and I was talking about, because we talk about you behind your back. So that's how you know what your friends are, what they say about you when you ain't in the room, bro, you know?
That's what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
take it.
She said, she said one thing. She said, Jay is so humble. And I said, yeah, somebody's so smart, but he delivers it with such grace and humility. That's important. So I want to get right to it, bro. Here's the reason why I felt like we needed to come together. First of all, I want you to tell everybody, just give kind of a snapshot of the 4 works that you have produced, that you've publicized, your 4 books, and give us a snapshot of each one of them real quick.
They look behind me, they can see a few of them.
Yeah.
So I Won't Starve, You Won't Starve. I go in order. Actually, I just got them handed to me.
All right, there we go.
So there's I Won't Starve right here. From $8 to 6 figures, which is pretty much telling my story of me starting, working for $8 and in a couple years after that, becoming a 6-figure earner. And right at the beginning of when I created I Won't Starve, the company, that's where that book ends. And then I created You Won't Starve, Key Principles of Entrepreneur Development, which is the one that's directly behind me. This is my training manual. It's responsibility for us to, once we figure out system, give it to other individuals. So I was talking about it while I was working $8 an hour, literally talking about this stuff on YouTube, but nobody paid attention. So once I got a little bit of steam behind me, I put it in the book, and now they had to pay for it. So that worked out, Morning motivation, key principles. I'm sorry, I'm about to say key principles. Consistent encouragement through a crisis. If you keep writing books, you're gonna forget the titles, forget how to say the titles too.
Yeah.
Consistent encouragement through a crisis. Again, this book was about me being in a space where just listening to all the negativity during the pandemic, in the height of the pandemic, and talking about throw 2020 away and forget this, forget that. And I'm like, hey, it was a crisis, but it wasn't our first, and it's definitely not going to be our last. how do we consistently stay motivated throughout the crisis, no matter what happens, especially as entrepreneurs? Because I'm just looking, I'm always watching the stock market, and I just watch these banks go in 2.2 seconds. That didn't have anything to do with any calamity right now. It's just business cycles and things don't go the way you wanted to go. And next thing you know, your business, you're out of business, or your business is trading from 200% to 5%. So we have to realize how we got to stay motivated no matter what that looks like. And then my most recent baby, my last baby, Business Corner, what's really needed to survive the entrepreneurial fight. My best work, in my opinion, and it's the truth. We started from soup to nuts, from the beginning of starting a business to when you grow a business enough to be able to sell it, and who you need to have in your corner, why you need to be in your corner, and how you can actually be successful and not be in that number, that statistic of most businesses that start will fail and won't go past 5 years or X amount of years.
Right.
This book will teach you how to do that.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, look, I want to get some tips, not too many, because I want you to buy his books. Where can he get your books from, brother?
iwon'tstarve.com. Go to iwon'tstarve.com or anywhere books are sold. My books pretty much everywhere on the planet at this point now. So
I love that.
But I get the most money if you go to iwon'tstarve.com, and I'll sign a copy for you.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I got the pen right here, dog. That's what I tell. Somebody told me the other day, yeah, I picked up your book. I said, I ain't get no notification. They said, yeah, I picked up your book. I said, where you get it from? She said, Amazon. I said, well, most of the money went to them, and I can't even sign it for you, sister. So that's the same thing I do. That's business thinking right there. But it's also the whole thing, like what Haleem said. He said he wants to sign it. And I sign and pray over every one of my books that I send out. I sign them, and that's an important part of that customer connection. And so, I saw this congressional inquiry the other day. This lady was questioning some rich bank dude. I don't know if you saw it, but she was questioning this guy, saying, how can you make this work for a lady who earns $40,000? So she started breaking down all of this woman's expenses, and she was negative $2,500 in the hole based off of just basic living. Right. You talk about rent, average rent in California. I think that's where she was talking, blah, 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 blah. So one of the things that I think people maybe struggle with is, because I know you talk and you got a great doctrine about, hey, look, while you're building your business, get a job and work it, right? Be on somebody's clock. There ain't no shame in that, right? But if you're drowning at your job, right? What is it that what's the first thing that a person would want to do if they're like, man, I really want to do more. I want to do something for myself. Like a tip that would help them, like, okay, how do they need to be positioned? Do they need to get a business loan, go back to school? What is it that you would say to a very, person in that situation who's kind of underwater? They got a talent, a gift, an ability that they can't quit their job today, but they want to get started on their dream. What would you advise them, Jay?
That's a great question. In this book right here, I put my first principle is hustle while you work. We all have a skill set. We all have something that we can do. Maybe we fry chicken the best in our community. Maybe we like to, put on events. Right. Maybe we make baked goods or whatever better than everybody else. We got to stop giving it away, and we got to go ahead and start selling it. And at that job, you spend more time at the job than you do at home. So if you make the best, if y'all having potlucks at work and they always asking you to bring your apple pie in, that means that somebody is willing to pay you for that apple pie. Now that can change your financial situation without you having to get any more money or do anything else to stress yourself. Next thing, I'm telling you to get a better job. A lot of times we get a job. I have a saying that say enough is not, just enough is never enough.
Right.
And so we get jobs wanting to have just enough. Well, 40,000 is just enough, but that's just enough for today.
Yeah.
With inflation, and that's going deep saying inflation, but let's just understand, if I'm single and I don't have any children, 40,000 is cool. But once I bring that woman in, 40,000 is not cool no more. Once the kids come around, 40,000 not cool no more.
Right.
So life itself, you have to continue to grow. And inflation is going at 3, 4, 5% anyhow. So you have to. My first apartment is so funny. My first apartment was $400.
Oh,
That same apartment is $800. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Now, so even without doing anything, and it looks worse than it did when I got it back in the day. That complex look like crap now. So at the end of the day, I didn't have to do anything but just keep living and to see that I was gonna have to spend more money. And so we have to always be thinking about having more than enough. To get an apartment, we need to have three to show that we make 3 times the amount of money. Well, we supposed to live that way. We supposed to live in saying, I need 3 times the amount of my expenses in my bank account so that I can live comfortably.
Yeah, you see, and that man, I tell you what, that's goodness. Let me tag. I see Tamika tagging people. Let me go ahead and tag my daughter, because my daughter at that Fringe Edge right now. She getting her money together, and I'm like, get your money together so you can get up on out my house, girl. But no, that's right. And when you look at it, I was when you said $400, I'm tripping, Jay, because years ago, what was it, back in 2000, maybe 2001. We moved in a single wide trailer, brother. Single wide trailer. We thought we had upgraded to a nice single wide trailer. You know, like one of them big old garden tubs in it. You know, and that was $425 a month, right? And I was just like, okay, well we can, you know, because I went from $375 to $425. I was like, oh my goodness, man, how we want to really tighten this budget, right? Man, if I was living. Jay, if my mortgage was $425 a month, I'd be driving around a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying?
And no, you're absolutely right.
Right.
And that's what people got to understand. It's going to grow. If the price is going to go up just to live. You bought eggs lately? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I be holding on to them eggs. I done boiled them things so I can have me 2 or 3 slices of the egg at one time. And so when you, but now think about this, because I was homeless for several months when I talk about this in my book as an 11-year-old kid, and I just dealt with what really kind of the Holy Ghost kind of triggered me to call you yesterday was I just dealt with the jail. The men in the jail on F Block. I talked to them about appetites, right? And there ain't nothing like being hungry. I know it's like to starve because I was severely malnutrition. But when you were in that position, Jay, because I want to get your mental piece behind this too. When you were in that position that says, okay, I'm making $8 an hour, but I'm refusing to succumb to hunger. I'm not going to starve. What was the mentality that you adopted, brother? Because that's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to live it. Help us with your mentality so somebody out there who's listening to this now can understand that it's not just about catchy cliches, which I know you're not doing. But what I'm saying is I want them to understand that there's a mentality that's associated with getting out of Starve-Ism.
Oh no. Be perfectly honest with you. It was middle finger to everybody. I have been taken advantage of, man. Like I've been used, I've been mistreated. I've been all of those things at that time because being an entrepreneur, I'm so passionate about being an entrepreneur and helping other people in the entrepreneurial space because every bad portion of the situation, I got it, especially with dealing with people.
Yeah.
And you know, me being a believer, a lot of that came out of people in the church.
Ooh.
So-called individuals who were supposed to be saved, you know, that I was around. And so at this point, because I'm a felon. I've been a felon since I was in college. And I had people telling me to go get a job. And I went to go get the job. They wasn't giving me the job. So I went full-time in entrepreneurship. And I had just got back to South Carolina. And I was trying things. I was doing things. And it just wasn't working. And when I took this final time taking an $8 an hour job, that was what it was. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna make this work regardless of what. And that wasn't the only thing I did. That's why I don't tell people like, okay, well, that's not enough. But yeah, when I worked 40 hours for $8 an hour. But then a brother I went to college with had a car dealership. He knew I had a background. I respected it. He said, well, you can't sell, but you can come with me and get cars from the auction. So I would go with him and get a car from the auction, $100 just for bringing the car back. I would be there for that. I sold bootleg movies. I had a table at the flea market. You know what I mean? I did all of that while I was making my $8. My $8 an hour check went straight to my wife.
Yeah.
I said, look, you take all of that $1,000 a month that I'm going to get. Our rent was $7 something. and that's rent and the lights. I'll get the rest while I'm out here doing this other thing. So I know that $8 wasn't enough. She's pregnant with my son.
Yeah.
I know that wasn't enough. But I said, okay, I'm gonna do this while I do this. Now, did I stay at $8? No. When I left that job over a year later, I was at $14. But I'm hustling on the job. I worked. I was the first one there, last one to leave. I performed at a high level. And so I continued to grow in that space and in the other things I was doing. And not to mention, I was a photographer. I was beginning my business as a photographer. So I was always already shooting on the side. So like I had to get the job to anchor me even at $8, but it didn't stop me from doing the other things. But I know I needed something that I can guarantee that was coming into my household at the time. We couldn't get food stamps. We couldn't do anything at the time. So, we just had to figure it out. But so that was my mindset, like middle finger to everybody. Everybody wanted us to do what they wanted us to do. We were told to move, come back, leave South Carolina, go back to this place, go back there. I said, whatever going to happen right now, me and Guy had a conversation, it's going to happen right here. If it ain't going to happen right here, it's not going to happen.
All right, so now look, ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in. I'm just gonna give a show to Jay Haleem. This is Jay Haleem's show. I'm just his co-host today. Me and this brother have connected through my cousin Niecy Jordan, and I'm just gonna yeah, that's my cousin. She up there somewhere right now in Michigan. She had did you see her post on her her little thing she did, her little interview or whatever for her book? It's almost at 3 million views.
Wow.
I told her, I said, see, sister, and she just had submitted a little email to some company, and they said, oh, we love your story, and it's done exponentially been seen. I told her, I said, look, just when you think ain't nobody listening, just keep on. I said, just keep on dropping it. Keep on.
That's what she do for everybody else. That's where that's coming from, because she do so much for everybody else. She give a lot of people on her platform to give, so that's what that's about.
She's reaping definitely what she has sold. Now, here's what I don't know if you know what happened with Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah. Watch it close.
The coupons is not going to be good here shortly, bro. Right? So when we talk about entrepreneurship and business owning and getting out here, getting after it, one of the things that you mentioned in your opening remarks is, about the business life, like how long, if the statistics say your business won't go past this amount. Yeah. Help us. You don't have to give it. I don't want you to give away the whole.
They can have it.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Just go to jhaleem.com or iwon'tstarve.com.
Either one.
It'll take you right there too. But my point is, I'm thinking about this myself. I've made some shifts even in what I do, because I started realizing that everything is dependent on me. Not that I don't have people helping me, but I'm just like, I'm the voice, I'm the image, I'm the spokesperson. You know what I'm saying? And I just had a medical issue not too long ago where I had to be down, and so kind of like everything was grinding to a slow stop. You know what I mean? Thank God I had stuff already in the queue, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want this what I'm doing to be only with me. You know what I mean? And Bed Bath & Beyond been around 50 years. I like to have a business that's running 50 years, but evidently they did something or didn't do something that in 2023, they're no longer needed at the table. So Jay, because you're the expert, brother. I'm just a speaker. I'm the John the Baptist. You're the intellectual.
Don't go too deep with that one.
What is it, or what are some keys or tools when somebody's like, okay, I'm mapping out my business, I'm blah 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 blah. What should we be doing, Jay, to make our business recession proof and make it so it's gonna go past just us? What are some thoughts you got on that, bro? And what have you been teaching?
Man, you got to pay attention to the signs, and you got to be okay with, stepping away from the business, because a lot of times individuals start a business and they can't see the ending of it. Like in my book, my last book, I talk about selling your business. You have to. We create businesses to sell. Now Bed Bath & Beyond is a publicly traded company, so They have sold. So what starts to happen is you get CEOs and they get new CEOs and new CEOs after 50 years. It's probably multiple CEOs that have been through that company, and they're out of touch with the founders. They're out of touch with what was the founding principles of the company. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times the founding principles are the things that last the longest, you know. But when we bring new individuals in and you start having your own vision that's not in tune with the original vision, then it goes away, and those things might not be built to last. Your vision is just for what you see. And then, you know, with those major companies, and I haven't been blessed yet to start nothing that big, but what I've seen from my study, and I invest in these companies because I'm an avid investor and I play the stock market. So I'm paying attention to a lot of the trends that's happening. You know, we talk about Blockbuster. You know, they saw what was happening with Netflix. They didn't move. Kodak, they saw what was happening with these other companies. They didn't move. So a lot of times they're like, we're good where we are. People going to always want to come into the store and just be marvel. Like Bed Bath & Beyond costs a whole lot more than a lot of the places to get what you got. And you have people on the cloud like an Amazon who you can just get the same thing from there and send it to them. They're not price matching like Best Buy or price match what's on Amazon to make sure that they're safe. You know, other people, you know what I'm saying? Like you can still come in here and talk to me because you can't walk into Amazon and talk to nobody. But if Amazon has something that's to my price, less than my price, I'll match it so that you still can get my customer service, but you will still get the price point that you want if you do the due diligence and bring me an Amazon receipt, not a receipt, but just show me on, hey, this is on Amazon.
Right.
They're like, hey, people are going to still be there. People change. Sometimes your client and your customer is timed out. You know, they're at retirement age. The person who was at 50 years, think about 50 years.
Right.
That person was 25 years old when they started. It's 75 now. They're not shopping like they used to shop.
No.
And what did you do for the person that's 45? That, you know what I'm saying? What did you do for the person that was 15 years old or that was 10 years old when you opened? What did you do for them? What did you do for their children to be ready? You have to start creating things for their children.
That is so true, man. Let me interject there. He brought up some good companies. One, he I watched the documentary on Blockbuster. I think there's one. I don't know if it's still open, but there was one last Blockbuster open in America. I think that was what the documentary was on. Like, they are still open, right? It was the only one left out of all of the Blockbusters, and it was more of a historical kind of thing. Like, okay, this is a landmark, but when, like you say, who was it? Did Blockbuster have an opportunity to get in on Netflix, or maybe it was another company? But I thought
they was around for all of it. They could have got Netflix. They could have bought in. They could have did the same situation. I saw it. It was sad because my wife worked for Blockbuster when she was senior year of college, and we started seeing. And the funny thing is, I wish we'd have got the stock back then. Yes. But she started saying it's a place called Netflix, and she would get the DVDs sent in the mail. You get 3 at a time.
Right.
You had to send them back, and then they'll send you another 3 that's in your queue. And right then and there, then I remember Blockbuster trying to do that, like a last-ditch scenario, but they were done after that point.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's like, no, sorry. And now you don't even have to leave your house. You know, I thought Redbox was pretty innovative, and now the Redbox little stations look like they just been abandoned. Ain't nobody even using them no
exactly. Because Blockbuster did a Redbox. They used to have Blockbuster boxes like Redbox for a while.
Yeah. So that just triggers something. We're talking about two different. I got two different parallels going on in my head here, y'all. So y'all just work with me. But one thing Jay said was, you got to know, hey man, if it's time to sell your business, right? There's one thing you got to be, hey man, you might build this business to a certain point and sell it off, and you got your royalties for the rest of your life or whatever. But then there's another piece of that lane that's like, hey, look, you got to understand where society's going.
Yeah.
Right? I saw a lot of speakers go out of business because all they could do was brick and mortar speeches. They relied 100% on that.
Well, and this is the thing, though. Also, you think about companies like Starbucks. You think about companies like Apple. These are people who their CEO came back multiple times because they had to be piped into the source.
Yeah,
it had to be piped into the founder because the founder had a vision.
Yeah.
You're bringing the company in, you sell it, you make it public, and you're bringing in operations people. They're able to look at what you have and make it work like a well-oiled machine. But a lot of them don't have vision. So
Right.
you fight back into either, if you like, some of those people are dead now, but who was around
Yeah.
at that time?
Right.
Who was around that can coach us or can consult us so we can get a vision for what's going on next? These companies are amazing for a reason because of a vision. And then they've been on autopilot for 15, 20 years with these people just running the day to day. But that vision has to be inserted again for what's coming down the pipe.
Yeah,
and when we so detached from the visionaries, it's hard for you to go long term because you got to see stuff that other people don't see. You got to see things around the corner. Yeah. And those individuals who are just running the show, it's certain people who cannot get a vision to save their life. But if you line them up with everything, they'll run it like a well-oiled machine.
Right. Yeah, but you said something great here. You know, an entrepreneur, a business owner is also a visionary. You know what I mean? Like I've been talking to my team about, like I said, like the 5-10 year vision. It's like, hey, look, we gotta make sure. I did a post today on AI because you know everybody's on the AI bandwagon, right? I made a post that said, listen, AI can't write no speech like CL. I don't care what y'all say. I'm still gonna be doing my own speeches now. But there's some cool stuff about AI. And here's one thing that here's what I want to. This next point I want to ask you because I'm doing a can you get paid to speak? Can you get paid as a speaker? I'm doing a little free workshop coming up in June. And everybody kind of subliminally asks me or will ask me indirectly or offline in a DM, well, how do I get into this and how do I convert to paid speeches? And it's not just a switch. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a switch that you just turn on and say, okay, I was speaking for chicken dinners yesterday. Now today is $7,000 a speech or I ain't coming. There's no switch in the industry like that. Do you agree with me or no?
No, I totally agree. Yeah, it's not. It's just one of those things that you got to make up your mind that you believe in yourself and you believe that people need to be paying for you. How I circumvented the system is that when I started speaking, when I decided I want to speak, I created my own event and I charged admission for it.
You see, he must be looking over my shoulder, ladies and gentlemen. I got the prophet, J. Haleem, in the room because this is exactly what we just told our team.
But yeah, no, I did it multiple times. I said, hey, we're going to do this. I brought some other speakers with me.
Yeah.
And I headlined and I charged $50 cover and everybody paid.
See, and that's the thing is that this is one thing I'm going to talk about in my training is that sometimes you can't sit around and wait for somebody to call you or see if you can qualify for their event.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. I saw too much of it because, again, being a photographer, a commercial photographer and corporate photographer, I'm shooting speaking engagements all the time.
Right.
I'm shooting conferences. I'm seeing people speak. And I'm hearing the local people, I'm hearing them, oh man, they didn't pay me. They don't do this, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm hearing all the murmuring because maybe they're doing speaking for the city. City's paying me, but they're complaining that they didn't get paid. Or this is happening. Or I'm shooting for a county function or this function. And they're saying this. And I'm saying, man, if I'm going to do this, I'm not going through all that foolishness.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it this way. Now, have I spoken for free? Yes, plenty of times, especially at schools.
Yeah,
the babies sometimes are off limits for me. I'm good with taking care of my babies.
Right.
But when I'm dealing with grown-ups, it's always a bag. I'm not playing those games with y'all. Like, cause my thing is this. I don't need that much exposure. I'm sorry. I don't need that much exposure. I've been exposed for the last 12, 15 years of my life. So I don't really need that exposure.
Wait, Jay, stop, man. This dude is so deep. I love it. But it's so practical because you hear that oftentimes, well, we can't pay you, but there'll be 400 people there. This will be great exposure. I'm like, I'm good. 70,000 people a month see me. I don't need no more exposure.
But if it's going to be 400 people there, you can't get $1 a piece. You can't get $5 a piece of each one of them because they paid to be there for you.
That's what I'm saying, Jay.
So you mean to tell me they paid you $75,
right?
And you can't scratch $5 out of that $75 for me?
brother. That there's a problem there. Now, when you talk about business, the heat always goes up in the studio when I talk to Jay Haleem. Go to Jay Haleem or I Won't Starve. Get his 4 books. The brother is a phenomenal. We've been talking about just doing pop-ups just because we just iron sharpens iron, and we just want to help people. Like my speaking training, brother, I'm doing that for free because it's going to be online. And I told people, listen, there's not even going to be a catch at the back of the room. I ain't going to try to funnel you. I ain't going to try to get your information and spam you. I just want to try to bless you. Maybe look up under your hood and say there's some things you might want to tweak right here. But here's one thing I want to ask you related to that. Is it a one size fits all approach to being an entrepreneur or a business owner?
Nah, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Is no way that, and I think that's just what everybody think, and that's what keeping them at the self-employed situation and not actually being entrepreneurs. Because everybody's thing is just, I don't want to work for somebody. And so what it is that whatever I can do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for myself.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is not selfish. It's selfless. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you have to be trying to solve someone's problem other than your own. So the only problem you have is you pissed off at the job. You don't want to go to work. You want to work for yourself. You want to take care of your pocket. Mm-hmm. But real businesses solve problems. So what is a problem? Maybe it's your problem too, but to make it a business, you got to solve it for everybody else. So if your clothes don't solve a problem for someone else, then it's just something you want to do, even mine. Yeah. But mine is a partnership with the actual business. So if you've been blessed by I Won't Starve Academy, or if you've been blessed by my coaching and my training through J Haleem LLC, then you should wear a J Haleem shirt to say, hey, I believe in what's going on. But right. It's not solving a problem. It's a clarion call saying, hey, I respect what's going on there. If you've been blessed by my words on YouTube, things of that nature. So that's what that is. But clothing is not solving a problem. But it is a half of 1% of Black people that make money with the government and have government contracts. So because I am a consultant that helps minority individuals get government contracts, I'm solving a problem.
Right.
I Won't Starve Academy has been created so that certain people can start their businesses that look like you and I for free. They can get this training that people pay me thousands of dollars for free through my 501c3. That's solving a problem, because I know that if you're everybody in the hood think that when you start a business, you got money, but these are the brokest people in the world. Business owners. Yeah. New business owners are broke.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And so they don't have the money to pay for your $500 this or your $1,000 that, and they don't really believe in themselves if they don't give up $5. They don't have it.
Right.
So I have business methods to get it out of the people who I need to get it from, so that I can still take care of my people, because it ain't what you get, it's what you do with it. And you know what I mean? So if it don't matter who gave me the money, I'm putting it back into my own community.
That's
solving a problem.
That's a good point, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to understand what he just said there. You got to think about it. I did a 3-night series. The 3rd night is concluding tomorrow. And in my state, because I'm in the old North State, bro. I'm in North Carolina, baby. And there's a problem here in this state. Would you like to know what it is, Jay?
I would love to know.
There is a major shortage of foster parents in this state. So much so, Jay, that the kids that are being extracted from their home because of abuse, molestation, and neglect, there's no place for them to go. So here's where they're putting them. They're putting them in county jails for sleeping. They're putting them in psychiatric facilities when they don't need psychiatric services. And they're letting them sleep in DSS offices. A big old USA Today write-up about my state. And they said that there's been a decline there's 12,000 kids that need a home and only 5,000 available foster parents. That sounds to me like a need, brother.
That's a big need, bro. And that's what we need to have the conversations about. Like, Who's creating that service?
You know, here's what has happened. The people I'm reaching out to about this topic, they're in the Queen City, Charlotte. They said that prior to the pandemic, they could get in churches, they could get in various community centers and talk to folks about becoming foster parents. Now that everything's back and the dust is settled, nobody cares no more. They can't hardly get in nowhere to talk about it. They need someone to help them raise some awareness about fostering kids, right? And I told them, I said, listen, we need to sit down and have a round table, because who better to help you guys get this message out than a guy that was in foster care for 18 years. I know the value of foster parenting, and I know what it did for it. Saved my foster parents saved my life.
I think it's amazing. But I will watch those people in the Queen City, and make sure they don't have Louis Vuitton bags and Louis Vuittons on, and they say that they need it, because those with one of those bags will be a couple news articles or magazine articles, and those shoes will be that too. See, we got to get down to the nitty gritty, because everybody said we need, and especially in our believers. Because our believers don't never want to, exert no finances and put out no money to make nothing happen. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, brother.
Go bring it. No, the Lord put you here for you to do it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The Bible says you would do greater works when I go to the Father. So it's time for you to work. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what that brings my full circle point, because when somebody asks me, well, how do I, like, this is why I asked the question, is it a one size fits all? No. I say it is a process. I think entrepreneurship is a process. It's a process, man. You know what I mean? Like what you say, hey, look, you ain't going to open your little cookie dough shop tomorrow and be making $15,000 a month. So you're going to have to keep staying over here at Starbucks and making their cookies while you making yours at night, right? But it's a process. You stay devoted and committed to making your cookies while Starbucks is still paying you. But my point to the question is, my story, my audience may not be your story and your audience. So it's not a one size fits all. Tell me how I start getting $7,000 a speech. I need to know what you're doing right now. What's your message? What's your marketing? It's not just what am I doing? I want to know what you're doing. And then we can look at some forensics and say, okay, if this is your target audience, if this is your passion, then maybe you've just been speaking over them, or you've been speaking at them, but you've not been speaking to them. You're not solving any problems in that area, so they don't feel they need you.
The problem is it's just really not that deep. If you tell somebody you're a speaker, you should have something to show that you actually are a speaker. You should have some type of video to hear that. Or you have YouTube. You can sit here and talk into the computer for a couple months so people can hear what your philosophies are, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And the thing that people don't do is they don't ask for the money. And also from an integrity perspective. So as a photographer, I remember meeting a young lady, and she said, when you start taking weddings photos, because weddings are so important, because you don't get it back. Like, it's not no do-overs. Like, it's not, all right, well, if you mess up on Saturday, this wedding, that's it, right? So that's why they pay so much, right? And they charge so much, right? And so they're saying, if you know you're brand new, you shouldn't be charging them $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? It's an integrity piece to that. So if you are new and you need to learn how to be an orator in front of people, yes, you should do it for free.
Right.
But it's a system to it, though. You don't just do it for free, just being, I'll just do anything for anybody. Okay, who do you want to speak to? Make sure you're speaking to the people you want to speak to.
Right. And
make sure it's people who are going to appreciate it. Like, for me, my free has always been with the babies.
Right.
Like, if it's the babies, there's a good chance to get me in that situation, because I'm not worried about asking for no money for them. They're going to appreciate me coming. They're going to appreciate what I'm doing. But, the easiest place to get me to charge is a church.
Go ahead.
The easiest place for me to charge.
Did y'all hear that?
It's easier for me to charge a church than it is a major conference.
Uh-huh.
Because they have the expectation of getting something for free.
Ooh, man. My God have mercy. Would you say that, please, one more time?
They have the expectation of getting something for free. So those are the first people I'm charging. I'm getting real down to the nitty gritty with it.
Let's go.
When I'm charging them.
Yeah.
Because And that's all it is. But you got to ask for the money. You know how many people have spoken, have did that service, even if it ain't speaking, it's something else. Their service, they don't want to ask for the money. Just ask. Now, what's going to happen to you, right? Because everybody's going to call you when you're doing it for free.
Yeah.
For like a year, maybe 6 months, but definitely about a year, maybe, it's going to get dry for you with that.
It is.
Because it's a shift that has to happen.
It does.
And it's going to be people saying, well, so-and-so charged. CL a little too high. I would call CL, but I know he's going to charge. And then next thing you know, it's going to be one person that's going to come around. Well, I know he's going to charge, but let me negotiate with him at least.
Hello.
That's the opening door right there.
That's the open door.
I want you. I know you sent me $1,000 invoice, but I got $700. I got $600. Can you work with me? And I got 3 events coming up, so you'll be able to do all 3 of those events at that price. You know what? I got you. I'll be there.
Right.
I'll be there. And then you kill it, and you show love to that person,
right?
And keep showing love to that community, that whoever supported you.
What happens next time?
Going to do it.
What happens next time? That's right.
And then the next person is going to do it.
Yes.
And then it's now everybody knows that you speak. See, when I go and talk to people, the first thing they say is how much.
Right.
It's not going to be are you doing this for free? Like, they're automatically going to ask me, well, how much you going to charge? Now the question is, can you afford it or not?
That's exactly right. Let me tell you something. I can't believe me and my brother decided to only do this for an hour. I need him for like 3 hours. I want you to clear your schedule because this is exhaustive, bro. I'm feeling something in my spirit. You make a great point. Tabari Wallace, the guy who wrote the foreword in my book, he is the first principal who gave me a speaking gig at a school where he paid me, right? He only paid me, I think it was like $150. So I wasn't busted out of the seams, but all the other schools had said no, right? And I went to his office and I said, look, bro, I just want to try to help. And he said, well, this is what I can do for you. The first time I went there, he said, I can't pay you. I said, all right, it's cool. Well, when he had me back after the first time, he said, look, I can get you 150. Well, every time I went back, the increments got much higher, right?
Yeah.
And he never, ever asked me again. Once he wrote me that first check, he never asked me again, is this on the house? Never once. Never once. In fact, I just went back to speak at a Black History thing for his school, and they reached out to him because he ain't even there no more. They said, hey, can we get King? He said, well, let me try to talk to him because he ain't free. He told him, you know what I mean? And to full circle, I had Tabari help me with my launch party for the book. Mm-hmm. And we're friends, we're like brothers, like me and you, right? He only lives 30 minutes away from me. And I said, we're going to take care of you too. I don't want you to think you come and doing this on the house for your time, your gas, your money, your dime, your expertise. I said, we're not expecting you to come do this for nothing, even if we homeboys. This is still your profession, bro. And man, he sent me a note of gratitude. You know, he was like, I wasn't expecting this, blah, 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 blah. And I said, but this is what I expect. When I'm out, I don't expect everybody to run me all over town for soggy chicken dinners. I don't expect that anymore. And you know what I mean? Can you see it, Jay? The roll and the green beans and the chicken.
And the macaroni and the chicken. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And the macaroni.
In the styrofoam joint, man. Yeah, you know.
Thank you for coming. You know, and you done brought the house down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was an offering taken up, though.
Yeah.
It was an offering taken up, and you didn't get 10% of it.
Uh-oh. Y'all better be quiet now.
Oh, no. I want all the smoke. So it is what it is. Like, because if we going to do it right, you know, Jesus turned over the tables. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's still modern day Pharisees and Sadducees running around here. And so, you know, you still got to go ahead and address them. But yeah, the lights don't come on without a collection. That's so true. What are we doing? You know what I mean? It's not a service that happens without a collection. I haven't seen one yet.
Well,
I haven't seen one yet. So there it is. Hey, that brother needs $25 for gas.
Yep.
Something. You know what I'm saying? Like the car don't run off chicken dinner. I might can, but the car don't. The car don't. You know what I'm saying?
You
So
can put no chicken grease over there, bro.
yeah, so at the end of the day, and even the sacrament don't work. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We just gotta, like, with this entrepreneurship piece,
Yeah.
it can't be a one size fit all scenario because we all different. Our journeys are different.
Right.
What we want to do is different. But no matter what you're trying to go into, it's a different walk in that space. So no, it's not a one size fit all. It's just that we have to continue to fight and tell our people that there's a difference between creating a job for yourself and actually starting a business. It's a different level of responsibility. You have to stop being so selfish.
Yeah.
We have to start looking at our community as a whole and figure out what is missing in our community. How can we better our community? Not just pick up and move to somebody else's community. And I'm talking to myself because I've done that. I'm in Vegas right now, and I just left South Carolina. I probably could have did something better there, even though I put it down the last 10 years I was there. Yeah. I definitely know I upgraded my community, but I probably could have did some more, right? And so we got to be like, okay, it's not a dry cleaners. Don't wait and see if somebody's going to get it. Put the dry cleaners there. It's not a hospital there. Let's put our money together, put a hospital there. If it's not a grocery store at the corner, we got to go so far away from it. Let's get together and get a grocery store. Let's do all of that stuff right now. And then that's entrepreneurship. That's a business. That's creating what we need to create.
Oh my goodness, Jay. Do you know it's 3:56, dog?
Well, we got to go.
Wait, but I gotta get
much, brother.
I gotta get one last question. Can I get
go
one?
Ahead, go ahead.
This is the grand slam. This is the 3-2 pitch right here, dude. In the book that you just released, hold it up. I'm the consummate promoter, brother. I'm like Don King up in this joint. Business corner. Okay.
What's really needed to survive the entrepreneurial fight.
Can you give us one nugget from out of there, what somebody needs to survive the entrepreneurial fight? Tell us a tip that you gave in that book.
Wow, man, it's a bunch.
It's one. I just need one, bro.
Well, for everybody, something that fits everybody is that, you know, you in this book, you need to know that you can't do this alone. Entrepreneurship, you can't do it alone. Self-employment, yeah. But entrepreneurship, you can't do it alone. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for somebody to just say, I'm going to go out my unilateral wet dream and think I'm going to make millions of dollars and change the world and everything like that. You got to have a team. You got to have people around you. You got to have a support system. That's why I called it Business Corner. You have to know the people that's in your corner, why they're there and what they're doing. I read a beautiful book and it said that the people on your bus, you know, they have to be motivated. They have to be motivated already, because if they're not, they're the wrong people on the bus. You're not going to go anywhere. And so you got to have the right people in your corner that's with you, that believe in what you're doing and they see what you're doing, and they're going to fall in line and be able to push you to that success. That's why businesses are failing, because as soon as somebody starts a business, their mother's telling them, hey, you crazy. Don't do that. What are you doing? You have to keep this job. Don't do this. They don't even have to be leaving the job. That's what they're telling them. Their wife or their husband. What are you talking about? I got to sit back and I can't get the new Louis bag, or I can't take trips all the time while we bring up this business. Their friends are turning their back on them and talking about him. Oh, he got that little business thing again.
That little business.
Members are saying, oh man, brother so-and-so going to ask us to help him with his business again. And it's all of that. So you're alone in the beginning of this thing. And that's why you can't survive a year. That's why you can't survive 6 months. That's why you can't survive a few years, because you are alone.
Right.
But if the next person and the next person can see the vision within your eyes, and more importantly, see their vision within your eyes, because everybody not going to be a visionary.
Right.
But if they can see themselves in your vision and they get behind you, it'll change the world. It'll change your world. We all have our own world. We live in one together, but we all have our own world. When they say the world about to end, somebody's in every day, but somebody's change every day. Somebody's grow every day. And the people who are around you, the people who are in your corner, means the most in your world. And it means that if you're going to be able to survive or thrive.
I'm going to tell you what, y'all, he just spoke something pretty powerful. I was thinking about my best friend on the planet, Greg Smith. Greg been with me since 2009, Jay. And I don't know if he's for what I'm for. I don't know if he's against what I'm against, but I do know one thing. That brother is for me.
Yeah, that's what you need, man.
Bro, we done brought some people on that looking at the shiny stuff and want $1. Oh man, you wear suits and blah blah blah. I said it ain't even about that, man. That man shows up to the jail with me every single month. Right after he get out of work, he shows up to the jail. We do 2 sessions. He don't even speak. He don't say a word. He's not missed one time.
Yeah.
And that's why he in the corner. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, everybody needs a Greg Smith in their life. Man, that is so powerful. I can't wait to chop this up and get 100,000 views on this reel. Because Jay makes it happen. He brings the knowledge. We don't know when the next one's going to be, but when the next one is, y'all need to tune into it because it's always good. We're going to talk about generational wealth next time. We're going to talk about getting your house in order with your life insurance and all that kind of stuff. We got to talk about that too in our community, Jay, because we struggling in that regard. Woo.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Hey, thank you again for giving me an opportunity on your platform, brother.
Well, this was our platform today. This is a joint session of Congress, dog. So,
hey,
Jay...
Man.
What?
It's always a pleasure.
Man, it's always a pleasure. I'm glad that God brought us together. My crazy looking kangaroo cousin hooked us up and got us together too.
You up for that one.
Oh, she knows. That's her nickname. She a kangaroo. So love you, Nisi. I love and appreciate my man Jay Haleem. I think I said his name right almost the whole day.
The whole time. And I love it. I love it, brother.
Just go to jhaleem.com or iwon'tstarve.com. Until the next time, brother Jay, we'll holler at you, man. Take care.
All right, have a good one, brother.
All right, later, dude. So that was it, y'all. I'm going to just give a closing remark here with my friend Jay. He's such a great man. I mean, just the stuff that he drops in just a short amount of time. Isn't that it? I'm telling y'all, that's something. So I want you to go to his website. And I do believe that. Like he talked about Nisi always lifting up other people. I do believe that God is going to bless us because we bless other people and we lift other people up. It don't always have to be about me and my story. It could be about somebody else's story. And I feel like this brother has tapped into something that when I seen the turnaround in his life, I said, this is the kind of person I want to align myself with. And so from $8 an hour to 6-figure income, that resonates with me. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am going. My son said, do you got your track suit ready? I said, yes. The track suit is the green white oak suit that I have worn ever since Chris was a freshman. It's a sweatsuit that I wear to every game, every band competition, the same one. I've been wearing it all these years. And tonight, I'll be wearing it to senior night for Jay's senior night at baseball. It's coming to an end. Just a few short weeks, and my son will be graduated. And then he'll go on try to make his life. So that's why I do this, man, because just trying to show my kids, first off, this is why I wrote this book, my kids and my family that, hey, man, no matter what you've gone through, you can still make it. And bringing somebody on like Jay Haleem says the same thing, man. No matter what, no matter your felony, no matter your background, no matter your $8 an hour job, you still can make it. So be a blessing to him and go get his books at iwon'tstarve.com or hit him up for some coaching at jhaleem.com. I said his name right. I was saying his name wrong all the time, but I just can't remember nobody's name. All right. Love y'all. Peace. Have a good day.